Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, joined by my lovely and talented and Mississippi State wearing wife.
Go Dogs.
Miss Southern Shell. Shell, I like the Hell State. It's college football is upon us. It's time to start,
That's
representing.
what I was thinking.
Is that what you were
Yeah.
thinking when you wore that shirt today?
Yeah. Ordered me
like
some
it.
new ones.
Did you?
I'm ready to go. I'm fresh for
You
fall.
think those Bulldogs are going to do good this year?
In football?
Yeah, they're already a national champion this year with the baseball team. You think they can repeat it with football? Wouldn't that be something? What's their coach's name? It's so
The Pirate.
crazy guy.
I like him. What is his name?
I have no. I can remember. He was like Texas. Wasn't he a Texas Tech coach at one time or
Gosh,
something?
it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, he's no Lane Kiffin. Oh, you have to look it up.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now.
Tyler, how are you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing great.
Rocking the Del Taco hat.
Rocking the Del Taco.
You're gonna wear that until we get us a franchise here, right?
Well, just we'll buy the building next door.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. What's the farthest
Mike
east?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mike Leach. That's right.
Well, usually,
Farthest east, there's a Del Taco. Is there like any in Texas?
yes, and they're basically all around us. I mean, but it's all within 5 or 6 hours. So there's some in
Okay.
like Chattanooga, Atlanta,
Okay.
every direction you can.
I've
go.
never had a Del Taco.
It's delicious.
I haven't either. I mean, I've heard people talking about
Is it the Whataburger of tacos? That's kind of or the In and Out of tacos, I guess. Is that
I
how
would
you-
say so, and they just have like so much stuff on their menu that's like not also that, but it's also really good. Like cheeseburgers and stuff. Normally at a taco place, you'd be like, no, that wouldn't be good. Like Jack in the Box sells tacos, and their tacos they're really good. Best hangover food ever.
Really?
Oh, I could see that. What's better, Chick-fil-A or Del Taco?
That's hard. That's really hard. I'm partial
up
to
there.
Mexican food, so I have to go with Del Taco.
Yeah.
I would say taco. I've never had a Del Taco. I mean, not knocking Chick-fil-A, but it's like the most standard. I mean,
It's so
I don't
good.
consider it hangover food. You can't get it on Sundays, and usually that's the day I want some hangover
No,
food.
it's not a hangover food, really.
Yeah.
It's
What's your favorite thing at Chick-fil-A?
I want number one.
Just the standard
Yes.
standard issue bun
Yes.
pickle Chick-fil-A.
Extra mayo. Give me some of them extra
mayo.
packets.
They do have the best restaurant mayo in the little packets.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing from Chick-fil-A is probably their little chicken biscuit things they have.
Yeah, the
little
mini.
the little chicken minis. It's like on a little sweet, almost Hawaiian roll.
Mm-hmm.
You just get a little box of those, or you can get the platter if you're really hungry. You get the whole platter. Their sandwich is just okay.
Last time you told me that was a pretty daggum chicken sandwich.
It is a good chicken sandwich, but it's not like my favorite.
Yeah.
I like the spicy deluxe. That's my.
That's what I get. That's a good chicken sandwich.
So we cooked.
The deluxe with the hot sauce. It's got like a hot, spicy seasoning.
Oh, you're
on
getting
it.
the spicy deluxe.
Yeah, isn't that what you said, Tyler? The spicy deluxe, with extra mayo. You can't add bacon to it or anything like that. You can get it with pepper jack cheese. I guess it comes with pepper jack cheese. But you think it's better than the Popeyes?
I've only had that Popeye sandwich one time, and I thought it was a great sandwich.
The Popeyes is really good.
Yeah.
I don't like our Popeyes around here. That's the problem.
I
Like, I feel
know.
like I always have bad customer service, that kind of stuff. Maybe it's gotten better though. It's been a while.
No, I can't imagine.
We went to one that was horrible at Senatobia. I mean, I hate to say that, but man, it was like, dang, they forgot how to make chicken.
Yeah.
It's like, it's terrible.
They got some old crusty ones that they hadn't sold in a couple hours and sold to us.
We had another. This was on the road we were traveling. We saw it. I saw it on Facebook. It was like the new chicken sandwich by Burger King. It's supposed to be the game changer chicken sandwich. It wasn't all it was crazy.
Yeah, we were heading to the beach and
Yeah, it
let's
wasn't that
try
good.
it. No, it
Wasn't
wasn't
good
good
at
at all. It was dry.
It wasn't a Popeyes or a Chick-fil-A.
No.
I hadn't tried. Have you had a Bojangles yet? So we have a Bojangles now. We hadn't had Bojangles.
So I'd had it multiple times before, and I really wasn't impressed with it. But then this new one opened, and I gave it a couple months, and we went there, and I thought it was phenomenal.
I tell you, the best thing Bojangles has is the chicken biscuit.
Yeah, I was going
All
to
day
ask,
long.
was it a breakfast? Did you go Bojangles breakfast or did you go Bojangles lunch?
I think every time I don't think I've ever had the breakfast, just the lunch, and it was always on par. But they serve it with biscuits, so I kind of got the taste, I guess, of what that might taste like, and it was really good.
I've never had it for lunch. I've only had it for breakfast.
Their mac and cheese is
Really?
I hadn't been since it's been open probably a year. Every time you go, traffic's backed up out in the street down Goodman Road, and that's a nightmare already. So it's like I'm not waiting in line for some fried chicken sandwich or something. Fried chicken. I'll go to J&J One Stop.
It's probably better.
Their fried chicken's the best in Hernando. Well, other than Junior's has got good fried chicken. It's like grandma style fried chicken. It's the real deal. But as far as like quick, J&J's got everybody beat.
Crunchy, crispy, crunchy chicken.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like standard issue. I guess all the little gas stations get it, but they do it right there. Some old ladies cooking in there know what they're doing with that fry batter.
Oh yeah, we had a whole conversation a few weeks ago about how good Southern gas station food is.
Yeah. Who's got the best? Do you have one?
I mean, as long as they're serving crunchy, crispy chicken and there's the right people in there cooking it and it's going fresh.
First one, the best one comes to my mind is the chicken on stick in Oxford at the Chevron. That is like, man. So that, you know what, that was where my aversion with Chick-fil-A started. When I was first at Ole Miss, they made you get a meal plan. And in the student union, this was back before, I don't even know if there were any standalone Chick-fil-A's in our area. I had never seen any. I had never been anywhere.
No.
But they had one in the...
They were only in food court.
Yeah, in the food court at student union.
Yeah.
And so we had, I don't remember, well, back then I think you had to put like $1,000 or $500 on your board. That's where you ate. So we would go get Chick-fil-A, and man, it was just plain. And then we had the Chevron down the street where you could go. You couldn't use your your board money on your card, but you could put it on those new credit cards they gave you in the lobby. And then you could get chicken on a stick, and it blowed anything Chick-fil-A had. It still does. That chicken on a stick from Chevron is the best gas station food I think you could possibly get. You probably never heard of it, have you?
Nope. Now I got to try it though.
Go to Oxford. It's
good.
worth it. Yeah.
To me, it's not the best chicken on a stick I've ever had, but it's up there.
They don't waste space with onions and peppers.
I want the onions and the pickles.
It's just a
And the
delicious.
potatoes.
Yeah, it don't have all that filler. That's where most of those gas stations get you on the chicken on a stick. They put pieces of potatoes on there that's 2 inches wide. And they put 4 of those. They don't have to put any chicken on it. It's chicken, peppers, onions, and pickles, and then with a couple pieces of chicken. I want chicken all the way down that wooden skewer.
I at least want the onions and the pickles. To me, the pickles.
I can do with the pickles make it.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A figured that out, I guess.
Yeah.
Do they really? You think they really soak their chicken in pickle juice?
I've heard that's a lie.
I don't know if
That's an
not.
urban legend or whatever.
They do put 2 little pickle slices. See, that's another hang up with Chick-fil-A I got. What if I want 6 pickle slices?
I bet you could request it, and
think
they
they
would
would give it to
say,
you?
"My pleasure."
That's so true. Customer
I
service
want
can't
extra.
be
I
beat,
want
man.
triple pickles. Triple pickle. I can try that. Next time I go, I'm going to try it and see.
Triple pickles. I bet
See
they
what
would
they
load
do.
it up.
I bet you they give me 3 pickle slices. I bet you that's all I get.
On the receipt, it'll say like 4 ketchup packets, 3
Exactly.
mayo packets.
I
and
do
stuff.
like their little ketchup dipper packages or whatever. That makes it, because most time if you get fast food, we're eating it somewhere in the car on the way somewhere. We're not taking it back home to eat fast food. And so you can't use just a regular ketchup packet. It gets everywhere. But the little dipping ones, you can tear the little thing on, ride down the road, dip your waffle fries in it, and off you go.
I'll hold it for you. And
Yeah.
While you
there
drive.
go. Off to the beach we go.
So last weekend, it's your birthday.
It was.
We cooked.
Turned 26 again.
We cooked steaks.
Man, we did it up. So we went
I put a
to
picture on Instagram.
what we call our hunt house, which is our hunting property where we built a little house on it. We have a place to stay when we go, and invited some friends down. And Mark and his wife cooked breakfast for him. Mark and Emily cooked, awesome breakfast. I got to start with the breakfast.
You're a breakfast junkie.
I am, and it was.
And I never cook
I
it
call
for
it
you.
breakfast of champions. My mom does it probably better than anybody, but Mark and Emily threw down on it. Like I'm talking
What
about
is
homemade
this?
gravy, homemade buttermilk gravy with sausage, bacon, eggs, biscuits, cheese. Let me tell you, have y'all ever had melted? This was new to me.
That's new to me too.
For breakfast, melted cheese. So Mark takes a block of a couple different kinds of cheeses and cuts them up, puts it in an iron skillet, throws it in the oven. And I'm like, okay, what are we seasoning it? No, you don't do nothing to it. It's just cut up cheese in an iron skillet. You put it in the oven when your biscuits are baking. And when you take it out and those biscuits are ready, and he melted some butter and put all over the top of these biscuits, and you bust that biscuit open, you take that hot cheese, it just all melts into like, it's not like a cheese dip. I don't know. It's just like, it doesn't stick to the pan or anything. And you can just take a knife and you kind of cut you out some hot cheese and you put it over that biscuit. Man, it's a game changer. It's like, I've had breakfast all over the place, but I've never had melted cheese
I want it on toast.
I bet it would be good on toast.
Yeah. But yeah, it's almost like a.
So I did like half a biscuit with gravy, half a biscuit with melted cheese, scrambled eggs, crispy bacon. He had a different bacon, Petit Jean bacon.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? It's like it almost tastes like a natural bacon.
Yeah. It did not have any salt.
Nitrate free, probably.
Yeah.
You like the Wright's brand better?
Oh my gosh, you better nitrate it up. I want to taste it.
You want to taste the nitrates?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. The sausage was good.
Yeah, the sausage was good.
No, and sliced tomatoes. And look, this is one of my favorite things too for breakfast. Fresh sliced tomatoes from the garden. After you cook your bacon, the bacon grease is hot. You put you some TX on it, or just some cracked black pepper if you don't have TX.
On your tomatoes.
And then drizzle it with that hot bacon grease. Just get you a spoon of that hot bacon grease and drizzle those tomatoes. Oh man, you talk about for breakfast with a biscuit and gravy. God, that ain't nothing better.
So is that what it requires to be a breakfast of champions?
Yeah, you gotta have all that.
You gotta have everything.
Yeah, you gotta
and
have
you
all
just
the
added
components.
melted cheese now, didn't you?
The only thing that could make it better, like if you had pancakes to go with it. Denny's Grand Slam has nothing on the breakfast of champions. Southern, I mean, it's got to be homemade too. You can't like.
They had Mary B's biscuits, and I thought they were really
those
good.
are good. My mom would have made homemade biscuits. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that probably could have. If I'd had her biscuits to go with all that stuff, it was jam up.
Those Mary B's I thought were really, really good. I was impressed with those.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
were.
I'm gonna start buying now.
They're too easy.
Yeah.
You just open them up. I mean, I like making homemade biscuits though.
I don't enjoy cooking breakfast. I'm not that crazy about eating breakfast. It's just not one of my favorite meals.
The Mary B's like frozen biscuits.
Yeah.
You had them?
No, my dad always did like Red Lobster biscuits with breakfast, which sounds so weird,
Really?
I'm sure.
Like
but
garlic butter biscuits for
Yeah.
breakfast? That'll start you out right again. Yeah, I don't know about that.
to come in like a box. Yeah, they're pretty good though.
Yeah, no, I like Red Lobster biscuits,
Heck yeah.
but I like them for dinner. It's like a dinner. They say there's
Yeah.
different times a day to eat different biscuits. Garlic butter with parsley biscuits are a dinner thing.
It
you know?
is.
It goes with like,
Lunch at the very least.
yeah, at least lunch.
It's a
I
Southern
never
Living
understood
101.
they don't really go with seafood though. So why did Red Lobster do biscuits?
I don't
Because
know.
I mean, you think seafood, you think hush puppies. You know, that's what I think. I don't think of biscuits, but it works.
I think
guess.
it might be a
I don't
New
think
England type thing, or
I
maybe.
don't know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I really don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But why they serve biscuits? I mean, most places I know in the South we do hush puppies.
Mhm.
Where you've been up in that area, Ty? Is that where you're from?
Yeah,
Boston area.
Boston.
Did y'all have biscuits up there a lot
Not really. I mean, a lot of people just did rolls,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
with the seafood or whatever?
yeah, even growing up, like we didn't really cook biscuits in the morning either. Like it was more. I might not have had my first biscuit till I came down here.
I mean, but biscuits is really a Southern thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of biscuits they consider more like a cookie or something you serve at tea time.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a dry, crumbly type. It's not like the Southern buttermilk, big, fluffy cat head biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a Southern thing. I don't know where Red Lobster got those. Maybe they
I'm
just
pulling
stuck
it up
with
right now.
when they started doing
It
them.
says celebrating 25 years of Cheddar Bay biscuits,
Cheddar Bay, huh?
introduced in
Oh yeah, I
1992.
forgot they have the cheese in them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's cheese and garlic butter and parsley.
A lot for breakfast.
Yeah, that's a lot for breakfast. Yeah, that's a lot for breakfast.
So moving on to dinner.
I don't see they wouldn't be good with gravy to me at all. But it probably would be good with like etouffee. That's something you could do. You could do seafood biscuits with a etouffee, like a shrimp or crawfish etouffee over them. Man, I got to do that. That sounds too good.
So moving on to dinner.
Yeah, lunch. We skipped lunch. We didn't have lunch when
Yeah.
we were there because we had such a big breakfast. You did a charcuterie board. It was just various cured meats with cheeses, 3 or 4 different cheeses, and
It was
our
really
pickle
good,
products.
too.
It was really good. We did it's like a shrimp cocktail, and then the meat flight.
So
Which
what
was-
steaks? What do you know? What all steaks were cooked?
Yes, we had. Kevin had sent me some that I'd had in the freezer.
Kevin,
So,
the butcher shop.
Butcher from the butcher shop, Pensacola. If y'all are in that area and you want some steaks, go see my man Kevin because he's got them. Best briskets on the planet. Competition briskets or just cooking briskets, he's got them all. But anyway, I had a Japanese A5 filet, the real deal. I mean, this steak was a $100 steak. And
One steak.
One steak, $100.
Raw.
Yeah, raw. Yeah, it's probably like, I don't know, it's probably 8 ounces. And we had that. We had tri-tip. I'd bought another filet from Comparison from Kroger. It was a prime Angus from Kroger out of the meat case. Mark brought 4 ribeyes that were milk cow ribeyes. Now, I don't understand really.
I'm still not sure.
I think they're from Jersey cows, like Jersey milk cows, the black and whites, like Chick-fil-A cow, eat more chicken cows.
Yeah.
That's a Jersey milk cow to me.
So they're just taking milk cows and turning them into meat.
Yeah, I guess they're. I mean,
but they were so tender. They're my new favorite.
It
steak.
couldn't have been a full-grown milk to her end point cow.
Why would
it couldn't have been,
kill
on
a
her
Jersey
last
cow?
leg. These must have been
unless it's
Jersey,
old.
Little Jersey. That's what I was thinking. She done gave her all she could give. They done milked her, hooked up the machine for 20 years. I said, well, we got to put old Bessie down.
Don't want to waste
her
the meat.
steaks.
Yeah.
No, the fillets were small. I mean, the ribeyes were small. They were way small. I mean, if I had to guess the size of them, they were probably 8 to 10 ounce ribeyes. So they come off a small loin. So
very marbled.
That led me to believe that it was a young cow, probably a young Jersey steer, maybe, I guess, or something. I doubt it was. They took one of the prize milk cows, but they were marbled up. I mean, it would have been a prime rating, and it had a thick vein of fat in it, like you expect in a ribeye. They were just small ribeyes. The loins were small, but they would melt in your mouth.
And they had a sweet.
Yeah, it did have a
not in a bad way, in a really good way.
Yeah, those were so. We knew what the A5 was going to be like.
Yes.
You can eat a piece of it.
So how did Mark cook the A5?
In an iron skillet. So Mark did all the cooking on my birthday. I didn't have to cook anything. He just let me supervise. Oh, we also had.
Which is where you shine.
Yes, which is where I shine. So he did a couple different ways. Like with the regular filet, we've got a buddy named Darren. You know Darren. He's famous at deer camp for doing his black pepper filet. So he takes fillets and pretty much coats it in black pepper, puts it on a plate, rolls the edges. It's got a black pepper crust. So he puts it in a Ziploc bag, adds just enough Worcestershire to create some moisture, and lets it sit in there for 4 or 5 hours. He'll even go overnight. And you think it's going to be way over black pepper, but it doesn't. It makes a nice little crust on it, but it's not super peppery or hot or anything. And so that was the one way we did the regular filet. And then when
that was good.
It was really good. It was great. That filet was awesome.
I didn't know that's how y'all did that.
Yep,
yeah,
it was really good. And so with the A5 filet, all we put on it was salt. It was just coarse salt. Put it in an iron skillet, seared it on both sides, put it on the edges, then put just a little bit of butter in there at the end, just kind of basted it, and that was it.
It was beef tallow, actually.
Yeah, it was a beef tallow he added to that. Yeah, we took a tub of beef tallow, and so we basted it, and he took it, I think, to about 125 is all, and sliced it up, and you could still see all the marbling in it, and it would melt in your mouth, but it just doesn't taste like steak. It tastes like bone marrow in steak form. That's the best way to describe how that A5 tastes. That's the flavor I get from it. Incredibly rich, beefy, but the mouthfeel is super soft. It's almost, you're chewing on a lot of fat.
Yeah.
But it melts in your mouth. It doesn't. It just kind of dissolves in your mouth.
But I'm with you. It doesn't taste like a ribeye.
Yeah, it was anything like the regular the prime filet we've had. Totally different textures, even though it's the same muscle.
It almost tastes like you're just getting a spoon of beef fat.
Yeah, a little bit firmer, bit firmer bone marrow. Bone marrow is kind of spreadable and all melts like butter.
And I love
this
it.
Is
great.
Has a little more texture to it, but it still melts out and just coats your mouth. It's good. Could you eat that whole steak? No way. You'd be sick as a dog if you tried to eat that whole thing. So, we had that one filet. It probably cut. I don't know. What do you think? Cut into a dozen strips, probably.
Yeah, and everybody got
one, and so you just you just wanted to try it. We also did a tri-tip, and we did that like a reverse sear. Put it on the Traeger, and then we had hot PK, and we'd seared it on there at the end.
That one was probably when it's going up against all the other things we had.
Yeah, because tri-tip's a little
it was a little tougher.
Yeah, it's a little tougher, different kind of meat, but it's sirloin. It comes off the sirloin.
Yeah, where'd you get that tri-tip?
It came from Kroger too. The first time I ever seen them in a meat case. I even asked the butcher because it was trimmed up already. He said, "Yeah, we've been. People started requesting them." So, it's not easy to get because they don't get a lot of tri-tip. They have to start special ordering. But if people are going to pay $7.99 a pound for it for sirloin, why not?
Yeah.
And it was probably, I don't know, 2.5 pounds. You know, they're kind of small.
You also did lamb chops.
We did. I had, Kevin had sent me a double rack of lamb in a package, cryovac. I don't know where it came from. It might have been Australian lamb.
I thought it was New Zealand on the package.
It probably was New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's where they do a lot of lamb. But those were excellent. We
They
did
were
those
very
with Mark's
good.
Prime Beef Rub to try it on lamb. And they never, they just hit the charcoal grill. Charred them kind of on, you can't really do all, 4 sides. You do 2 sides and then kind of stand it up, take it to about 125 medium rare and take it off and let it rest. And that, y'all know I'm not a huge lamb fan at all. You love it. But it
had no
was
lamb flavor to me.
No, it wasn't. Sometimes lamb has its own lammy flavor. It's
I like
not
it.
gamey, but it's not.
It's a little hint of wanginess.
Yeah,
but
just
you
a little.
know that it's lamb.
But this wasn't. It was just tender. You had about 3 bites on the bone. They're small racks.
Yeah.
But what made it shine, that's why I wanted to bring this in here, this chimichurri. We made a chimichurri, which is like a herb. You think of an herb meets vinaigrette. And that's kind of what a chimichurri sauce is. They use it on a lot of beef and stuff down in South America, like, Argentina, Brazil. You get it when you go to those, like, how do you say that, churrasco restaurants, Brazilian churrascos. But that's what they serve. And so we found this product.
We used to make it a lot.
To make it, you take like two bunches of cilantro, 2 bunches of parsley, chop it all up super fine, chop up some garlic. I usually put a little bit of shallot in it. You put it in a bowl with vinegar, like a red wine vinegar, and then you drizzle in olive oil, and you season it up, salt, a little pepper if you want, a little pepper flake, or you can put chili in it, something like that. And you let it sit, and it just kind of comes together. It kind of hydrates the oil and the vinegar, hydrates those herbs. Everything softens up, and it makes a really flavorful, fragrant steak sauce or sauce for meat. Well, we found this product, and we started selling it. It is a dehydrated chimichurri. So it has the herbs in there. It's got the parsley. It's got the cilantro. Read what's in that.
What's the brand for Frugoni?
Alfragoni.
Alfragoni's who does it.
Spices, garlic, and salt.
That's all it says it's in it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's easy. Now, I'm guessing, knowing how I make one, it probably has cilantro in it. It has parsley in it. It has dehydrated garlic in it. It probably has a little bit of onion in it.
Well,
it's probably got, this one doesn't have any spice, so it doesn't have the red chili flakes. He's got a hot version that has red chili flakes in it. But all you do is mix equal parts this with vinegar. And then you drizzle in.
it's not olive oil?
No, you drizzle in the olive oil.
Oh, then you drizzle
So
in
it's like,
olive oil.
the way I made it, I did like a 1/4 cup of the chimichurri seasoning. It's hard to see on here.
Yeah.
Looks like something you roll up or put in a peace pipe. I don't know if y'all can see this. That's exactly what it looks like, though. It does have some red chili or something in it. It's not,
But you used to take the time to chop everything to make chimichurri. But
chimichurri is an involved process. You got to like chopping.
Since we found this, you haven't done that. We've just used this because it's just as good to me.
That's right.
And
so it's 1 part of the dry seasoning and 1 part vinegar. You could use whatever you wanted for vinegar. If you wanted to use a cider vinegar, if you wanted to use a red wine. I've even used my hot sauce because it's vinegary and it's really good with it. And then 2 parts olive oil.
That's a good idea.
And then you let it sit. Now, if you try it right away, it's got to have time to rehydrate all these dry, dehydrated herbs. So I'd made it up a couple hours ahead and let it sit in the fridge, kind of chill out. And then you just stir it up, and it goes great with lamb. It goes great with any red meat. We even dipped the shrimp in it from the shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I've never dipped shrimp in chimichurri sauce, but I would do that again.
Excellent. Yeah, it was really, really good.
But we've also been using this on potatoes.
Yes. And we did like oven roasted potatoes. You could do it as a crust, like if you wanted to do the lamb with it.
Yeah.
On the outside, or herb roasted prime rib or something, this would work great. But if y'all
it's one of my new favorite products. That
I do like it. I wish I would have thought of it. I hate to, I don't have a Killer Hogs version.
I would have told you it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I would have said it wouldn't either, but I brought it in and he sent us some to sample. And when he brought it in, I mixed it up, and we didn't have any vinegar here. That's how I used my hot sauce. And we just happened to be cooking some steaks out for lunch one day here at the shop. And so I mixed it up, and man, everybody went crazy over it. It's such a different steak dipping sauce, Like I'm not super huge fan of dipping my steak in steak sauce. I mean, I'll eat a little A1 here and there, but it's not something I do all the time. But that stuff is just so, it's a different, fresh flavor that goes great with it.
We also talked about that beef tallow. I'm not a fan.
Really?
I mean, I love the stuff that you guys made at the shop one day when you rendered it yourself and made it.
Talking about the tub.
The tub. Mark agreed with me. He said it tasted like it was freezer burnt.
Really?
We probably shouldn't be talking about this because we sell it, but I didn't like it.
People are going crazy over it on brisket and stuff like that.
I'd try other brands.
So we did. You did a beef tallow mushroom. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. So instead, normally when you do mushrooms,
like steakhouse mushrooms.
Yeah, steakhouse mushrooms.
It's butter. If you got a little onion, that's even better. A little garlic, something like that. Yeah, shallot. But it's butter, Worcestershire sauce, little red wine.
How much butter? You usually do like a stick of butter per.
It depends on how many mushrooms I have. How many?
Usually use like 2.
But I'm not shy with it. Yeah.
It needs the butter. Yeah. That's what makes it so good.
And it, kind of reduces down with the mushrooms and softens them up, and then it really kind of makes a good steak sauce.
And then but don't you kind of crank the heat up and really turn it into a reduction?
Yeah,
it's
but
almost
you can't
like
take it too far; it'll
score. Yeah. You don't want to. Yeah, it will. The butter will come part of the juice that's in it.
But I added the beef tallow to this particular application when I was cooking those mushrooms Saturday night.
I thought they were pretty good. I really did.
I could taste it. I was like, these, and I had the sauce just right. Like, you can't take it too far. You can't take it not far enough.
Yeah.
I had the sauce just right, and I was disappointed in the flavor. And I know it's because of that beef tallow.
Yeah.
Mark said the same thing. He thought it tasted.
So I used to make up, like, when I do competition briskets, I call it my mushroom reduction.
Yes.
I start with chopped up mushrooms. I saute up some garlic, I usually start with 1 shallot, finely minced.
I hated having to make that recipe.
Well, it's a 30-minute reduction.
It is.
Because I take it through steps of reducing everything that goes in it. So it would go, saute your shallots and your garlic, add your mushrooms, season it all up. And I would add Worcestershire and soy sauce, and I would reduce that for like 5 minutes until it, cooks all the water out, concentrates the flavor. Then I would add red wine, like 1 whole cup of red wine. I usually use like a sweet table red wine, and then reduce that down for 5 minutes. So the wine, the Worcestershire, the soy, all that's concentrated. Then I would add 2 cups of beef stock and then reduce that down for 10 minutes. And so I concentrated all these flavors, and I would strain it out, and that was what I put in my wrap for brisket.
You'd strain those mushrooms
out? And then,
And when you usually did this late Thursday night, we were really busy trimming, getting whatever, and a lot of times I'd eat those mushrooms.
For dinner?
Yeah, you strained out.
They were so good, though. Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's beefy. It has a little bit of sweetness. You taste the flavors in the wine. You get a little of the Worcestershire note. A lot of umami. Yeah. A lot of it. I mean, that's what gives the brisket so much flavor. And I didn't ever pour it like over the brisket. It was just around it and cooked in it. But it makes the best au jus when it comes out of that brisket wrap.
I agree. It's really, really good. Why'd you get away from using that?
It was because it was labor intensive.
Yeah.
And then people were doing just, using like Cosmo's brisket mop or something like that, or beef consomme mixed with that some kind of way. And it was just easier.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hadn't got a 180 in brisket since I quit using it. I need to go back to it.
Yeah, try it.
I probably will. I'll probably make that and take it with me.
And you haven't been competing.
Yeah, as much.
That
was back when we were competing all the time. Yeah. But we were killing in brisket too.
Yeah. Chicken and brisket and pork. Yeah. We used to do pretty good.
So if you hadn't seen the pictures of all that beef, Tyler, y'all had it on social media. Yep. It was on Instagram.
It was pretty impressive.
Was it on Facebook too?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It was like, when I saw it on Saturday, I was like, man, I know where I'm going.
Oh. It was so good.
We have plenty left over, too.
Yeah, there's still a bag of it in the refrigerator. We should have brought it up here.
Yeah.
The people eat on it all week. Because I was like, what are we going to do with this? I was like, we're going to make steak and rice or something. But we didn't do anything with it. We've been so busy this week.
I ate the leftover lamb chops for lunch one day. Yeah.
They were in a separate little container.
So today I want to talk to you about something.
We didn't talk about the potatoes.
Oh, okay. Talk about the potatoes.
So I saw Google Foods. I know people probably seen him on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he does TikTok too. So last week on TikTok, come across my little stream when I flipped through that he was doing these potatoes. It was to go with steak. And so he took like a package of bacon, cut up into little pieces, rendered it, pulled the browned it up really good, pulled the bacon out, left the grease, threw in an onion, caramelized it in the bacon fat, added took that out, and then put the little potatoes. He used like Yukon Gold, baby Yukon Golds cut in half, put them cut side down in the pan of bacon grease, and it's got the onion flavor in it, and fried them just until the top, that cut side turned like beautiful golden brown.
Yeah, like French fries
yeah.
color. Yeah.
And then took those out, or I think at that point you leave it all in, add the bacon back, add the onion back, season it just a little bit, stick it in the oven for like 20 minutes on 350.
Yeah,
and
I tossed it at that point.
You just kind of tossed
yeah.
it. But it made the best little oven roasted potatoes.
But then when it came out, I added some of that chimichurri and Parmesan on the top.
Yeah. Oh, man, I forgot about that.
They were really, really good.
They were really good. So if y'all need a potato recipe to try, you can look that video up or just go by how I just said do it. It's simple. But
yeah.
I need to do it. That'd be a good one to do.
Yeah, that would be.
Figure out how to do that or just give him some credit for doing it because I love oven roasted potatoes, but I've never done them that way, cooked down in bacon fat. But I mean, bacon.
I used to toss them in bacon fat. Like
I've done that. We just quarter them, like kind of quarter them, toss them in bacon fat, season them with like AP or TX, throw them in the oven. We'd have that all the time.
Yeah, people would be like,
"Ooh, this is the best potatoes ever."
Yeah.
Yeah, or even duck fat. Like I like spraying them, like cutting them and spraying them with duck fat.
You know, the same company that makes that beef tallow makes that duck fat. I love the duck fat. It's got great flavor. I use it all the time. We use it on chicken wings before we cook them.
Oh man,
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
As a seasoning.
Smoke as a seasoning.
Is smoke a seasoning?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know if I consider it a seasoning as I consider it more of a component of the flavors I'm trying to get when I make barbecue or barbecuing, however you want to look at it.
So it's just one of the elements.
Yeah, it's one of the elements. So, you've got your spices, your seasonings, you've got the meat, the flavor of whatever meat. Like say if you're cooking beef, you want it to be beefy. You want to use spices and seasonings that accent that beef but don't cover it up. And then you're using the grill or the pit to get the smoke flavor. So the species of woods you use makes a difference. That's all a component of it. That's what builds the bark. It gets down in the meat. You taste the essence of the meat. You taste the seasons, and you taste the smoke. That's how it works for me.
Yeah. Can you add too much?
Yes, definitely, definitely. You can add bad smoke. You can add too much smoke.
You can add too little smoke.
Too little smoke, yeah. But I mean, definitely, it doesn't take. I learned a long time ago that it doesn't take a whole lot of smoke. Smoke goes a long way. You can easily oversmoke something, but it's hard to. I mean, to me, it's hard to undersmoke something. If you don't put any wood on it, but undersmoked, I mean, it just don't. I don't really have that problem. The only time I have a problem where it don't taste smoky is on a pellet grill. And it's usually because
pellet grill. A lot of times it's the like the Weber, or
see that's a different flavor because a lot of times I don't add wood when I'm like grilling on a Weber or something like that. I want that charcoal.
No, I'm
flavor.
talking about when you do ribs on a Weber.
Because you don't get the same
smoke. Or when you've done them on a propane grill before.
Yeah, you don't get the same. Yeah. It's just the way the wood burns or smolders.
Yeah.
You don't get the same effect. And I'll tell you where I have gotten some good on the Weber is when I put a little chunk over the vortex doing wings. You would be surprised by how much smoke flavor that one chunk will give wings when you're cooking them in 35, 40 minutes on a vortex in high heat. But it still gets that wood smoke flavor.
Do you feel that a chicken absorbs smoke better than a beef or pork? Or
some meat does and some meat don't. Like chicken really it can take on some smoke and get too smoky, but so can beef and pork. But they're doing it a longer time. Typically, you're not cooking a piece of poultry that long when it's on a grill, and so it's like a sponge. It's going to absorb it, and it's going to you can get it way too smoky. That's why I'm not a big fan of using mesquite because it gets stuff way over smoked.
I was thinking chicken.
I mean, a lot of people love mesquite turkey or mesquite chicken. For me, it's too strong. It almost has like a bitter. It'll get a weird, sweet, bitter flavor that's just not good barbecue to me. I'm not crazy about it. But I don't buy mesquite turkey from the deli either. I just don't like that flavor.
Yeah. So different woods. Can you tell a difference between the different woods?
Definitely. When so when I'm cooking with them, like beef for instance, I like hickory. I like oak. I like pecan. I don't put any fruit. I don't like putting fruit wood. The only exception is a little cherry on beef because it gives it that real pretty red smoke ring. But apple, peach, things like that, they just don't go with beef. It's just too sweet or too mild of a smoke that just doesn't give it a whole lot of flavor. And beef really needs like a bold smoke to it. And that's what you get from your hardwoods like your hickories and your pecans or your post oak, something like that. That's why people use it. You got to watch those woods because they'll get too smoky on you and you can make it bitter. But a lot of times that's just because it's been in the smoke too long. When you get that beef up to a certain temperature, it's any meat, when you get it up to about 140, 145 in that range right there, you're not going to put any more smoke on the inside of it. The meat's not going to absorb it. It's just going to pile up on the outside. And that's where you get a lot of the bad flavors, especially if you don't have a good, clean burning fire. That's the number one thing when you're cooking with wood. You got to know that you got good airflow and the wood's going to smoke instead of just sit there and just barely smolder. Or it's got too much moisture content. It's going to give off a real like thick looking smoke. You want that thin, almost invisible, light blue smoke. That's perfect smoke.
So you said cherry gives you more of a smoke ring?
Yeah,
you've noticed that?
I definitely notice it when barbecue, and that's one thing we always use. It just gives a more pronounced redder color.
Really?
It really does. Cherry drives it. So when we're cooking pork and we're cooking beef, we're always putting a little cherry on. Now it doesn't do it to chicken. Chicken will get that smoke ring tint too,
really
and you get more
that
from
red.
chicken, but you don't want it in chicken. That's why I usually never put cherry on chicken.
Yeah.
I always use pecan. I love pecan on chicken because it's got enough smoke flavor and it doesn't take a whole lot of it. Like one chunk will give you all the smoke flavor you need on chicken, and it gives a pretty outside too.
Is there any other woods that you've noticed give a deeper smoke ring?
Not than cherry. That's
Cherry's
usually what I
just
go
go-to,
with.
yeah.
I mean that smoke ring. It's not really all about the smoke it's in to make that. It's a chemical reaction in the meat making that happen. Smoke just helps it, and it's a byproduct of using wood to get that color. But a lot of it has to do with the temperature of the meat when you put it on, the amount of salts that you've used on it, all that causes that chemical reaction to happen. And that's where you get that smoke ring from. So, I mean, you can even put, there's curing salts that people put on and stuff like that to give it a fake. It's like a fake looking smoke ring. It causes that reaction to happen with very little smoke. And it makes it's like real artificial.
Yeah. People play with that a lot in competition barbecue, or they used to.
I don't know how much of it's common now. But
yeah, because I think it'll change the texture if you're not.
It's easily to turn something more like that ham-like consistency using products like that, especially on pork. Beef, it'll turn it into pastrami. It'll cure it all the way too. So you got to really watch those if you're using them. But pastrami's good, but it's not what you want if you're trying to go just get a smoke ring. And to me, I can always tell. If I pick up a piece of meat, the smoke ring's like, 3/4 of an inch down, and you see that dark purplish almost color. It's like, come on now, who you fooling? That ain't a real smoke ring. Because everybody knows you're not getting that much.
Yeah. On your Traeger.
Yeah, that's right. It's just a false look,
Wet wood versus dry wood.
Always dry. I like a low, lower moisture content wood. Somewhere in 15 to 20% is I don't know if you use a moisture meter. That's kind of what I look for. I never soak wood. The only exception is if I'm just wanting like a bump of smoke where I'm using wood chips and I'm trying to slow them down a little bit. I may use some wet wood chips, but the smoke you get from it's not. It's just that moisture steam you see cooking off.
And that's mostly pretty much at the end of a cook. I've seen you do that. You don't do that at the beginning.
No. And I don't use chips very often.
It's a lot of times when you're glazing.
Yeah, just to get a little smoke set on the outer flavor. It's only going to be on there for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
But most of the time I use a dry wood. Now, there was days, like we first started barbecuing, everybody had buckets of wood, bucket with water.
Heck yeah.
Chunks filled up.
I remember that.
You could see the smoke rolling.
That's how you knew you were doing something.
You knew you were smoking, You're steaming. Cooking all that water out of the wood before it would start smoking and give you the good smoke. And so, people, I guess, we learned as we kept cooking.
Yeah.
Learned you really didn't need it. Now, the problem is if you use too low of a moisture content wood, it's not going to smoke at all. It's going to go up and start just giving you heat. It's going to immediately go to flames. And I don't want that. I want it on a stick burner. Yeah, I want it dry on my stick burner. But when I'm trying to get flavor out of it, I don't necessarily want it that high. But even on my stick burner, a lot of times if I want to get extra smoke, I'll put chunks of wood underneath where the ashes are falling and let those smolder to produce the smoke, and then the splits are going on the fire on the hot coals to produce the heat. So you're kind of getting best of both worlds.
Oh, okay. Have you ever like had splits where you're going to put on a wetter split at the beginning and then switch to a drier split?
Yeah, but most of the time, I mean, if we're starting it, sometimes I may let that. I like my wood to all be about the same seasoning. I don't want it to be wetter. But I'll also, put it in there in the chamber. Don't put it anywhere near the fire, just where it's warming up or up on top of the cook chamber box, and then it'll start letting it warm up to where I know it's going to go to BTUs instead of go to smoke.
Oh, that's a good tip.
And a lot of times with stick burners, you don't see if they're running right. You don't see them smoking at all.
You can only see the
clean
register,
heat, and they don't get stuff near as smoky as say a drum does, or my old hickory when I'm burning chunks in coal bed. It just doesn't get as smoky.
That was something that surprised me when we really started getting into stick burners years ago, was the less amount of smoke, I guess.
Yeah. But you think oh, you're burning sticks,
smoky.
man, this stuff's going to be extra smoky. No, it's not. And I guess those
if it's running
when you
clean,
think about those restaurants where you go to and you say, oh, you've had a restaurant barbecue where you've ate it and it's smoky, and you taste it 3 days later and you're still burping up stuff from it. It isn't because of the pit itself is doing it. It's because they just put the wood to it, using bad wood, probably, whatever. They want it rolling that old smoke so people can see it. And that's what, if I go to a restaurant, I'm looking, I want to be able to smell it but not see it. That's how I know they're using good smoke.
So if we go talk about, seasoning meats aside from smoke, so I was Googling this, and the 5 flavors are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami.
Right.
Heat's not on it. So I started Googling why, spice. To me, that should be a flavor. But they say you don't feel.
Don't taste spice.
Yeah, you don't feel sweet, sour, salty, bitter, or umami.
Yeah.
Spicy is not a taste because it does not work on the taste buds like an actual taste does.
You ever had something too salty? You feel that. Man, it's terrible. You know what I'm talking about, Tyler? For real. I feel something too. I can feel it way after I ate it too. It like blisters your mouth.
Especially that.
It's a bad feeling. Something too salty, it like sets your tongue off. That's a bad feeling.
I've had a steak at a steak contest that was like,
that's way too salty. Yeah.
It burns.
Yeah.
Is that the MSG though?
No, I think it's the salt. Just dump some salt in your mouth, see what it does. You feel it.
But
I agree with that. I agree with that because, your tongue has different regions on it. Like most of the time, you're going to taste that sweet first. And then
that's on your tip.
Yeah. Then you're going to taste the saltiness, and then the sour, the bitterness. Is it sweet, sour, bitter, salt?
Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami.
Yeah. And to
me, bitter and sour.
Umami, that's something. They say it's the 5th taste or whatever. I don't know if. What it does to me, that umami is almost like it brings out the other flavors.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It kind of act like MSG does. It accents those flavors like the brand accent. Yeah, it's like it. But I don't know if you taste umami. Is it just the richness, or how would you describe that? Because I think it's just like it makes the others better.
Where would fat fall into that? Is it umami?
Probably. When you think?
I don't know. So what is your components? What are the things you're looking for?
I don't want bitter.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for sweet with the right amount of salt. I don't want sour either.
So you're looking for spice.
Yeah, so it's more spice.
And smoke.
I guess there's a sour element to it because you think about we use vinegar
to give
a lot,
but
and so
it's
the
more
vinegar,
balanced.
but it's more about balancing out the sweet, and the richness is what it's for. And I guess you are tasting it. And if you think about it, like paprika is bitter, or chilies can be bitter. And so there is a component to it. But if I ever get to where it's bitter in my barbecue, mainly it's the smoke's done it to it, not the seasonings has made it bitter. But if you get the combo, I guess you got to have it. But I'm thinking salty, sweet, savory, with smoke, with a little bit of heat, and that umami, or what brings it all out. That's what we go for. And that's why I use a lot of MSG in barbecue. And that's why a lot of the rubs you see have it in there.
Yeah.
Because it wakes all those other flavors up.
I love me some MSG.
Yeah, in small doses. I can get how people can have aversions to it, but it's like anything. If something's too salty, it's going to jack your blood pressure up. Something's too MSG, it's probably going to give you headaches or send you to the bathroom.
Usually I can, if I like a seasoning, I can turn it around and see.
It has some
It's
MSG
got
in
MSG
it.
in
Well, so we took it out of a lot of our stuff just because people have aversions to it.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it, and it's something you could add if you wanted to.
It's still in the AP.
Still an AP. You got to have an AP. That's the essence of it. But it's such a small, minute. You got to put it on there if it's in there. That's the thing with MSG, even if it's a small dose. And what we have in the AP is just enough to wake those flavors up. It's not going to. I don't think you could put it. You put more AP on, the salt would blow you out before the MSG ever bothered you. Is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But like we had it in the barbecue rub
intensifying.
originally. I took it out of the barbecue rub. I didn't think it needed it because I didn't really make that much of a difference in it.
Yeah.
The original recipe, I didn't have it. It never was in there either. So it was something we added because everybody in the barbecue world was using it.
It's a competition thing.
Yeah, it's a competition thing. And that's what that
What
rub.
do you always say? Judges love MSG. They just
Don't even know it. Yeah. They absolutely love it. It's in everything. Everything that you eat at a competition, if you're a judge, if you got an MSG, if you got any kind of aversion, don't go judge competition barbecue.
It'll tear you up.
Yeah, you don't know what they've done. I mean, they could have used nut.
I've never seen any
peanut stuff or whatever. If you got, it could be in there. We don't have to disclaim that we're putting something in there like that. It's your own risk.
I've never seen any competition cooks do anything that's like bad food safety. Like they're not throwing it on the floor or anything that. But they are putting the fat to it. They're putting the seasonings,
the butter,
to it, the MSG to it.
So if you had to put a caloric count on some competition barbecue, you're probably eating 10,000 calories as a judge.
The sweet.
Yeah, the butter, the richness, all of it.
It's
bacon
all that
grease. It's over the top.
Yes.
I didn't know I wanted to be a barbecue judge until right now.
Yeah. Oh man, it's ultimate. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. You would enjoy it. You need to go do that.
I would.
Yeah, you got to sign up for a class. It's fun.
When all the spare time you have.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I don't have time to go judge. I would love nothing but to spend my Saturdays going and judging because it's fun.
No, you don't. As soon as we go and judge a contest, you say,
I'm never doing that again.
I
could win.
I could have beat.
Yeah, everything I tried. That's my problem.
And then you want to cook the rest of them.
Yeah, then I want to cook.
So how do you determine how much seasoning specific meats can take? Because we do like to season.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like my stuff seasoned. I don't know how much it can. I never put like a measurement on it.
Yeah.
I do for recipes, but most, when I do those recipes, like when I say a tablespoon of AP or something like that, that's a guess. I don't measure that. And and it depends on the size of meat you're cooking and the quantity.
A brisket.
Yeah.
Loaded up.
Yeah.
You're not going to can you over season something like a brisket?
You can over season it. You can kill it. You can, and I just use a normal Malcom amount when you watch. If I get heavy with it, but that's not. I think smaller. So really, what ultimately determines for me is the size of the meat. If I'm cooking smaller, thin stuff, I'm not going to put as much seasoning on it.
Yeah.
If I'm cooking big pieces of meat for long periods of time, I know I'm going to wrap it up and cook a lot of that off. It can handle more. If I'm building bark on a pork butt and I want a nice bark, I'm hitting it with the rub, pretty heavy. But I kind of watch the one thing you want to watch is your salt level because you can get it too salty.
It also depends on the rub.
Yeah, it also depends on the seasons you're using.
If I'm using the barbecue rub, I know I can go heavier, or I need to add a salt element, an AP with it.
Yeah.
Because it's just not a salty rub.
Right.
But you can't use the AP like you use the barbecue.
No, if you use AP and hot or TX and hot, you got to watch it. You got to use a little of both because they're both salty or saltier.
Yeah.
That's kind of, you got to know what your first taste the seasoning you're using. See what it tastes like to you. How much would you put on it if you were going to season a hamburger patty or something like that? And then go by that. That's the best way to do it because when you just go to piling it on and trying to layer all these different stuffs, you're going to end up with something that's so over the top. It's not going to be good.
Yeah. It takes a while to get
the hang of how you're going to season it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the stuff, the big stuff though, you can put a pretty good bit.
And my thing is always, you can always add. You can't take away, though.
Yeah.
Once you've seasoned it.
It's there. Unless I guess you could wash it before you put it on. Once you put it on, I mean,
I've seen people do that, too.
But, we've laid stuff on ribs, used 2 or 3 different rubs. And when you put them in the wrap with the butter and all the sweet stuff, it washes some of it off. And you end up re-seasoning it a little bit on the back end, too. So depends on your process. If you're just grilling something like a steak, you go to piling all that stuff on there, you're not going to taste that meat at all. All you're going to taste is those seasonings you put on the outside of it, and I can't promise you it's going to be good either.
And that's one of the problems I have with some of the
the steak contest steaks nowadays. Yeah, because guys are putting 4 and 5 different things on them, and it don't taste like steak.
Yeah, it's just not a good steak.
Yeah,
what steaks are winning right now are not necessarily
how you want to eat them.
Yeah,
but that going in. That's not.
Yeah,
they're trying to outstand 15 other steaks at those on an average table. Judges are tasting about 15 steaks per table, so that's a lot of different meat that you've got to come up with a different score for every one of them.
Yep.
And so I see how it goes and
the more salty
goes to the next one because you're trying to stand out and salt can I've done it myself. I've cooked steaks. I said, man, I've ruined these today. Turned them in late in the steak contest and won. And I was like, well, there's no way that was a good steak. Like, you taste this one right here. You tell me that's a good steak. It'll burn your mouth. But those judges have tasted all the bland ones or the neutral ones or some over the top ones. You don't know what they had before yours or after yours. And so it just, that's what makes that steak judging tough.
Yeah, it does.
Real tough.
Did you have anything else this weekend you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, Rotel chicken. How many people know what Rotel chicken is?
Chicken spaghetti. It's also called Rotel chicken spaghetti.
Yeah. It's not the same as chicken tetrazzini, or how do you say that? That's an Italian thing, Tyler. You know what I'm talking about? They do a turkey. Is it turkey tetrazzini too, or something like that? Not the same thing as Southern Rotel chicken spaghetti.
Yeah. What is Southern Rotel chicken spaghetti?
It's probably one of the most basic dishes that you grow up with eating in the South. It's spaghetti. You usually take a chicken and
spaghetti noodles.
It could be boiled chicken. It could be grilled chicken you chopped up. It could be chopped up pieces of chicken you brown in a skillet.
Traditionally, mamas boil it.
Traditionally, they'd boil it and shred it like you're making old school chicken dumplings.
Yeah.
They would take Velveeta cheese, a can of Rotel. Rotel is diced tomatoes with green chilies, juice and all. Don't drain it. You mix that with the cheese. You melt that. You turn it into Rotel cheese dip. And then typically you'd add like a can of cream of mushroom soup or a can of cream of chicken soup, something like that. Add your chicken in there. Maybe season a little bit. Stir it up. Boil them some spaghetti noodles. About, I don't know, a good handful. Or not the whole package. Depending on how much cheese you got, how big a dish you're making, you got to judge your noodles. And you mix all that up in a bowl. You cook pasta. You cook it al dente. Mix it all in a bowl. Dump it in a casserole dish. Throw it in the oven. You don't have to top it with extra cheese unless you want to. Sometimes they put breadcrumbs on top of it. Sometimes they put, extra parm or something like that. It goes in the oven, bakes it till it all kind of comes together. It's hot and bubbly. And you serve it with garlic bread. It is a fine dish.
It is.
It is a fine dish. So what went wrong with your chicken spaghetti?
It was good. It was just way too cheesy.
I don't know. Let's go back over. Do you want to do that or do you not want to visit this?
I knew it was bad.
You made a cheese sauce that was fine. It had all different kinds of cheeses in it. It had Velveeta in it, which you never like to use.
I was trying to make it extra.
Did it have
cheesy.
mayonnaise in it?
No, it did not.
Oh, okay.
It did have a little sour cream.
Sour cream in it?
Cream of mushroom. I even sauteed like some onions and peppers.
Oh, that's always good in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had this cheese sauce going.
I was trying to make it extra cheesy for you.
Yeah, it was. It was
That's
the
all it
cheesiest
was.
Rotel chicken. It was more, It was more like cheesy spaghetti. Because the Rotel and the peppers and all that stuff was gone.
I don't know what happened. The Velveeta ate it.
The Velveeta ate it. Oh, it was good. Do you know anything about chicken spaghetti or Rotel chicken?
Heck
spaghetti?
yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome, isn't it? It's awesome.
I always just get a rotisserie chicken from Kroger.
That's what I did, and it
too.
worked.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It
was not Rotel chicken spaghetti.
Not.
It wasn't what I envisioned when you asked me what was one meal I wanted for my birthday.
I owe you an improved Rotel chicken.
I just want the classic. I don't want any improv on it. I just want.
You want me to go back to old school?
J&J sells it. One day, it's like Thursdays. It's chicken spaghetti day.
That's today.
Is that today?
Today's the day.
Man. Dang, I've got to go by there before I get out of town. But yeah, I just want the classic.
I tried to do too much.
You fancied it up.
Too much.
And cheesed it up.
It was like
good.
eating a block of Velveeta, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Cheese.
Yeah. Well,
Like if you're gonna use that other cheese, so the ratio is 1 pound of cheese is all you need in a batch of chicken spaghetti. So if you're going to use that, if you're going to use 4 pounds, you got to use a lot more noodles and a lot more Rotels and a lot more soups because
I know it's a ratio thing.
Yeah, and so the deal is when you make this up, it's supposed to be runny before you bake it.
Yeah.
Like it don't hurt.
Mine was like
it was cheese. Yeah,
it was. I don't think you could have spooned it. You know, I knew. I was like, "This is
you told me. I said,
this
I
is
don't know
going
about
wrong.
this. Yeah.
This is going wrong."
You do.
My problem is I never use recipes.
Yeah.
And most of the time, that works out for me.
This time it was a different take on it. I ain't gonna lie. It was good, baby. It was good.
A different interpretation.
Yeah, it was good. It just wasn't what I was.
You'd had to take a bite of the Rotel chicken and then eat a few bites of the salad to like make it
Shoot it
even
locked
out.
up. Oh man, it was good stuff though. It was just different.
This directly contradicts TikTok, Malcolm, because you always say you can't get too cheesy. But I guess you can.
I know.
Shell proved me wrong on that. You can get too cheesy. This top, and also we used penne pasta.
Yeah, we replaced
instead
the
of
noodles.
spaghetti, which was good. I love penne pasta, but this would have been a great one. Like once you got it all together, to let it get cold. And then cut it into squares and batter and deep fry it. You would have had this cheese stick, spaghetti type, egg wash, breadcrumbs.
Yeah,
man,
but it would have to be small.
You could do it in
bites.
balls, or you think the big square. I was thinking the square, like a cream cheese block. And then when you cut into it, it would just ooze all that cheese back.
I don't think that cheese is oozing too much. It was
You don't think so?
locked up.
The only thing it was missing was like pull apart mozzarella cheese strands in it. Like if you'd had that, you dug off in there. Oh man,
it was not my best effort.
It was good. It was cheesy.
They can't all be winners.
They can't all be winners.
So this weekend you're going fishing with the crew.
Yeah, we're taking Brian. Brian's getting married, and this is his bachelor trip, I guess, or what middle-aged guys do for a bachelor. My vote was to go to Vegas. I was like, let's fly to Vegas. It'll be, fun 3 nights in Vegas. Bachelor party, get the limo, go out one day, probably, rent a suite, have a big party or whatever. Maybe donkeys. I don't know. You never know how Vegas is going to go. You've seen Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks. It's a great time. But I got shot down quick. Like nobody's wife said they go to Vegas except you. You're okay with it.
I said you need an anchor to take with you.
As long as I take somebody to keep me in check.
That'll be like, all right, guys, this has got a little head. All right.
Out of hand.
I would have got him. Right.
Yeah, Tyler could have went. Tyler could have went and kept me in check.
I don't think I trust Tyler at all. I think he falls into that Mark category of he might throw lighter fluid on that fire.
Let's just do it, man. She won't know. Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know.
Somebody's taking pictures. Oh no, Malcolm.
Can we turn this into a TikTok?
Nobody's gonna know. Yeah, it's okay if you can make a TikTok out of it. That's my rule. It's okay if you can make a TikTok out of it. That's how you get out of a lot of stuff. Just turn it into TikTok. There's crazier stuff than what we do on TikTok.
So y'all are going
fishing.
You renting a cabin in Arkansas.
Yeah, and going fishing. No, it's gonna be great. I love it. I love going. I've already been over there once this year fishing. It's the White River, some of the best trout waters in the United States. We're going to go catch some rainbows and browns, and who knows, maybe a cutthroat or a brook, whatever's in there.
Do a little side-by-side ride.
Side by side, got them loaded up outside right now. I'm taking it easy. I only got 2 cases of Miller Lite for me.
Any whiskey?
I didn't bring any whiskey.
That's probably good.
Yeah, I said I didn't need the brown. It's gonna be hot. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Miller Lite's like drinking water when it's hot.
Yeah.
So it's that's okay, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
You need a bucket of Fireball with his little baby,
Last time I went there, we had. He just like we rode side by sides, and every stop you do a shot. By the time you got back, it's like,
how'd I get here?
It's great.
So what's
No,
on the
we're gonna
menu?
cook some steaks. Mikey made gumbo for tonight. He made it last night, and it's been sitting. We're gonna take it and probably put it on the back burner while we do. I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna eat that for dinner, and then tomorrow we're going fishing all day, and we're gonna have some probably burgers and brats or something. After we get through fishing, maybe cook some of the fish we catch. Maybe if we decide to keep some, then the next day I think Mark bought fillets.
Okay.
So
Y'all doing the whole
steak and potatoes.
Steak
Just
and
steak and
potatoes.
potatoes. Keep it easy.
Yeah. So are you taking grills or do they have grills at
I
this
think I got
place?
a grill at the cabin. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's had a Weber back there. We looked.
Okay. So y'all
Our friends
taking,
from Townsend Spices have a cabin right there. Shane and Lawson.
That's true.
Lawson's actually living there now, but I think he's going to be out of town. Shane's going to be coming down, stay on the river. So we'll go hang out with them. We'll probably fish during the day on the boats and then bank fish at night. Mark had had this crazy idea, so he'd come up with the craziest bait to catch fish on. We're going to have a little contest. Let me tell you what he did.
Hey,
He bought pickled bologna. I don't know. I've never.
where did he find pickled
Super low.
bologna?
Super low. Had pickled bologna. He said it's the nastiest stuff he ever. He said the texture is like, if you think potted meat's like a 12 compared to this stuff.
Did he taste it?
Oh, yeah, he tasted it. He
I'm
said
very
it's.
curious.
Well, you don't want to taste it now. He took like a tube. He took that pickled bologna, poured a little of the juice out, squeezed in a tube of anchovy paste, then poured in a whole thing of chopped garlic, and then added Parmesan cheese to it. This is his trout bait now.
And then let it
And
sit out
I don't
in
know
the
what kind of
sun.
river monster he's fixing to catch from this. And then it's been out in the sun since Monday. Here, and it's been 90-something degrees every day. So I don't even know. I don't want to smell. I'll puke.
I'd be like, all right, Mark, you won
I
this
got
one.
my crazy baits. I got some night crawlers.
I don't know. I'll be like, you won this one.
Oh crap! I forgot my night crawlers. I gotta go back home. Dang it!
Well, that's all, folks. No.
Well, that's all, folks. Hey, it's been fun. Shell, where can they find us? How about you? All right, wrap it up.
Y'all are literally leaving like as soon as we wrap this up.
So, Shell, where can they find us?
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram, TikTok. Tyler.
And y'all can find me on Twitter at TikTok Tyler and Instagram at TikTok_Tyler. And make sure you guys download our app.
That's right. And hey, y'all wish me luck. I got to catch the biggest fish. I got a little prize. We're gonna put a little bounty up on it.
Y'all always have to have something
It's got to be a
competitive.
competition, right? But we'll see y'all next time.
I blame Mark.